Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode on the Forgotten Weapons Library. I'm Ian, as always, and the book we're taking a look at today is by Thomas Swearengen. It is The World's Fighting Shotguns. Now, there aren't very many books out there about combat shotguns. I've been looking. Yeah, there's some here and there, but very little in the way of a good encyclopedic reference. And about the best thing that we have on that in that topic is Swearengen's book here. It was published in 1978. So obviously anything made after that is not covered in here. You won't find Saigas in here. You won't find the USAS 12, some of the really zoomy high-tech stuff. But he does a really good job of discussing guns up to the 70s and in particular older guns. Got a Bannerman Shotgun here, and this has so far been about the best resource outside of some very specific Spencer and Bannerman related materials. This has been about the best resource I found for this particular one, as an example. He does talk about pump guns, single barrel, multi-barrel, semi-autos, does cover the whole technical range, and talks about some of the cool, what he at the time thought was going to become the new military thing, full auto magazine fed shotguns. So they may not be super modern, but a lot of the designs that are still floating around today are in here. So as a general thing, Swearengen's book isn't a collector's book, it's a historical book. So it's not going to tell you, the minutia of how to, pick out the details on, say, an 1897 U.S. Army trench gun. It'll tell you about the trench guns and how they were used and the different variants, but if you're out there trying to determine small variances between guns or determine provenance, this isn't really a good resource. It is a great resource if you just want to know more about fighting shotguns, how they've evolved and how they've been used. So let's go ahead and take a look inside, and you can see for yourself what exactly Swearengen covers. So we've got our old school cover here, a bunch of kind of vintage guns, including this 8-barreled Liberator, among other things. The book is divided into sections based on technology. So the first one is single shot guns. There aren't a whole lot of single shot fighting guns. One interesting one that he covers here is this M79 grenade launcher cut down by the Viet Cong into a little whippet gun. Anyway, Swearengen does have a significant amount of coverage of kind of homemade ad hoc Philippine guns. I guess he had a source at the time who had a lot of information on those. So you'll see those through the book. We have double-barreled guns. So of course, these are the Ithaca Auto and Burglar, which were popular before the NFA. Quite a bit of information on the Liberators, both 4-barrel and 8-barrel. Here's a cool one. Some of the vintage, the early pump-action shotguns. I mentioned the Bannerman earlier. He also has some good information on the Burgess, which was a pump-action and also a folding gun that was marketed to police. Pretty cool. Of course, obviously, quite a bit of information on U.S. World War I trench guns. This is, of course, the pump-action chapter. Magazine-fed experiments. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, some more different types of trench guns. He has a chapter on modifications and accessories. So in this case, extended magazine tubes. There you go. Here's the what became the high standard 10 police gun. This creative and different method for firing from a car. Development of some experimental full auto shotguns. This is made by John Foote, who actually had a hand in some of the AR-15 development as well. There's a section on grenade launching, which includes tear gas. Shotgun shell makes a pretty decent propellant charge for something like that. And, of course, the last section is on ammunition. So, birdshot, buckshot, slugs, flechettes, as we see here. A bunch of different and interesting things. So despite all the limitations of this book, its age, it was never reprinted, so the 1978 version, as far as I know, is the only one out there. Despite all that, this really is an outstanding reference for anyone interested in military shotguns. I don't think you'll find anything better yet. Someday someone may publish a new book, but it hasn't happened to date. So these are relatively scarce. As of the time that I'm recording this, there are a couple reasonably priced on Amazon. You may also find them on eBay. Of course, you may find them at gun shows. They look kind of like an old grungy book most of the time, so some people aren't going to realize just how rare and desirable this volume is. And you may be able to find a good deal on one. And if you're into shotguns, you definitely should. This is kind of a foundational reference piece that any serious fighting shotgun collector or enthusiast really ought to have. So, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And tune back in to ForgottenWeapons.com for more library book reviews.